Good morning, good afternoon and good evening YouTube. What's going on? It's your boy Joey Does Tech. We are back with a brand new one, and this one is making my nerves go through the roof. Today I convert my Nintendo DS Lite into a Game Boy Macro. I'm fully aware that I'm about 48 years late to the party. You'll see a lot of people on YouTube who have done this a long time ago. But nonetheless, I am very, very excited to get my first ever proper macro underway. For myself, I definitely feel like it's the next thing on my list that I need to tick off, and I cannot wait to mess it up. So now let's head over to the desk, see what parts we have, and begin the video. Thank you in advance for watching this one. I have no idea how it's going to turn out at all. Just bear with me 2 seconds, guys. I'm literally loading up the tutorial. Haha! Okay, real quick rundown, first of all, of the tools we are going to be using in today's video. A knife, a prying tool, ceramic tweezers, electrical tape, solder pen, fluctuation, aka solder flux, and a soldering iron. I haven't soldered since the first time I transferred speakers from one DS to another. So this soldering that I'm about to undertake is going to be my hardest yet. So far, 100%. I am ready though. And of course, the Dayard screwdriver set. Now, I did recently do a video where I swapped a Nintendo DS Lite Onyx black shell into another Nintendo DS Lite Onyx black shell. So as you can see here, this is the one that got marked because, like an idiot, I put a too long a screw in the back here, and every time I opened and closed it, it scratched it. So not ideal. I'm going to be using the motherboard and screen from this Nintendo DS Lite, which works fine. And a heads up, I've already changed the settings, so when I put a Game Boy game in the slot down here, it will boot up on the bottom screen and just go straight into the game. Before we go any further, guys, I do just want to state that this video is definitely not a how-to guide. This one is more so, I'm doing it with no experience. You are following my journey. So here, what do we have here? Joey, what's this? What's this pre-prepared box that you have? What we're going to be using is the following. This is an empty black Onyx Nintendo DS shell, the bottom half. DS Lite shell, sorry, the bottom half of one. As you can see, we already have the power button and the volume button embedded into the case. There is no stylus with this Nintendo DS Lite, hence why I'm actually using this case. This was the old Onyx black case that I took out. It had a faulty top half of the screen, so I said, you know what, let's use the bottom half because that makes complete sense. We've got the battery cover already intact. I've got 2 screws in the top here. I have got some screws in this little pot that I'm going to use for the outer shell here and here, and I've also got some screws for underneath the battery cover as well. The goal of this video today is just to have a working Game Boy Macro. I can do finishing touches and make more changes to it in other videos, but today I just want to accomplish that. So we have our case, we have our game to be testing a little bit later on. What I've gone for is white shoulder buttons. I think that would just look better on the Nintendo DS Lite itself. I've also gone for a white D-pad. I've gone for black X and Y buttons with white B and A buttons, as well as white start and select buttons. I think that's going to be the best looking combination of it all. This is where it gets interesting. I bought this from eBay. You're going to see it on screen. It's basically a package, and that's the little skit that you saw at the start of the video. That's what I purchased. It came with the little 331 resistor that I need to put into the console in order to make it work, because if you don't have the little resistor, and this is where the soldering comes in, the Nintendo DS Lite motherboard sees that the top screen isn't paired with the bottom screen and doesn't turn on the self-check when you start the console up. Hence why we had to get this little package. And it comes with a nifty little bar, which you put at the top once the other bit's screwed in. So yeah, little touches. Again, like I said, we've got some little screws and stuff in there that we should have enough of to complete the modification. I am beyond excited. Why? This is my first ever mod for a Game Boy Macro, and any mod of that kind. I've taken shells and transferred them into other shells, but I've never made an actual mod. So let's see how this goes. Okay, so the first plan of attack is to take out the screw. Ooh, would be good if I had a head in there, wouldn't it? Let's just take out the remaining screws that we have on this DS. So we're not going to be using these screws. I actually think I really messed up with the screws in this Nintendo DS Lite, and that's why, obviously, I had the scratch at the top and a couple of other things just didn't fit correctly. But we learn. So we remove the slot and we remove the stylus. Put these actually over here. Okay, you're probably all judging me thinking, why, Joey, why you got sticky tape on this battery? Well, my friends, the reason being is because I forgot when I converted the shell, I didn't put the graphite, the small graphite bit in this bit, so I couldn't screw it down. So I had to put sticky tape on the battery to keep the door on, yeah. When the screws don't come out as they normally would, you know you've probably done something to really mess this up. So anyway, off comes the back. Take off the shell. You guys have probably seen me do this a couple times now. Easy. Okay, disconnect the two wires. We have the black wire, which is the antenna wire. And then we also have the microphone wire at the top. Take those out. Slide this one through. So we've removed two of these wires now. Now what we're going to do is go the other side and just push on the glass ever so gently and flip it round, making sure that it's not going to snag. And just undo this little ribbon cable here. Take this off. This is the top screen ribbon cable. There we go. Bob's your uncle. And then we're going to fold this back over and put this to one side for the time being. So I can work easier on the motherboard, I'm actually going to take the screen off. There is a ribbon cable up the top here. This one is a very, very sensitive ribbon cable. Just a little slide up like that. Ceramic tweezers. And you can just push it out like so. That, I don't know if that matters necessarily for this video, because that's for the digitizer, and because you're playing a Game Boy Advance, technically, you're not actually going to be required to touch the screen. So I don't know if you can actually get away without using that, but then I don't know if the Nintendo DS Lite actually turns on, because it does a self-check before that. That's that one, and then we're going to just really quickly unplug this ribbon cable as well, like so, and there we have our good bottom screen. I am going to start warming up the soldering iron. The reason being is because I have a screen here that has speakers, as you can see, and we're going to take the long cable speaker from the screen. I've got "don't work" written on the back of that, so clearly it doesn't work anyway, the top screen that is. There we go. And then I'm just going to solder off, and if it doesn't work, I might as well take the other speaker off as well, so I'm just going to really quickly solder them off. So let's heat up the iron. Okay, so I just recorded taking off the speakers, but I messed up the recording, so yeah, that's not great. I'll put them back on. I don't know if that's the right way, and I'm just going to take them back off. There we have it. I recorded that whole time and I didn't say anything. Such an idiot. What I was saying is that this soldering iron actually really annoys me, because the on switch for it is right next to the handle, so it always gets in the way. I set the temperature gauge to 300 degrees Celsius in order just to get that right temperature. But we have successfully taken off the speakers from the top screen that doesn't work anyway. So we're going to be using them in the Nintendo DS Lite macro. Okay, now is where we get professional. I've never used flux before. So this is my first time of using liquid flux for the soldering part. What we need to do is, they say it quite simply on the video, but I am frankly soiling myself. I need to pre-solder, which is like pre-ball, LED A2 and LED C2. Okay, so this is gonna go horrendous, but do you know what? It is what it is. We're gonna do it. We got a little pen. Wish me luck, guys. Let's go. I'm gonna juice them up with some flux. I don't know if that's the correct terminology, juicing it up. Just gonna put a little bit on where it needs to go. I have no idea. I don't even know if that's coming off, I'll be honest. Okay, I put a drop on with a little brush. I can't smell it, which is good. And now we get the little resistor out, which is what I'm gonna be using. So they say you need to, oh no, we need to pre it first. We need to pre it first, okay. Here we go, moment of truth. No pressure, Joey, no pressure, no pressure, no pressure. So LED A2 being the first one. Do not flunk this. LED A2. Okay, way too much, way too much. All right. To be fair, it's a nice little ball. It's a very good ball shape, and it might be the right amount because the resistor that we have is so small that you need an extra bit of solder to be able to bridge it. So it could work out okay. Now we do the bottom one as well. So let's go that. Again, this is my second or third time soldering. LED C2, here we go. Okay, all right. I need to get rid of some because again, that's quite a lot. They're two big balls, let me show you. I mean, they're quite big solder balls. So the first one is now looking a lot smaller than the second one, I may say. But I'm gonna put my soldering iron down for 2 seconds. I'm gonna turn it off and let it cool down because it might have been a little bit too hot. And now I'm gonna look at the resistor chip that we've got. And here we have it, the little resistor. This is a 331. It's recommended anywhere from like 300 and up, I think. So, or 330 and up. So this is a, like I said, a 331. So we should be all good to go. Now I'm pretty sure I just twist this off. Man, it is tiny, bro. What? Is that it? I have to carefully put this on the board and bridge it between the two. So let's put that back over. This might take me 1,000 attempts. So I'm actually gonna turn it around a little bit just to make it a bit easier on myself. Not good. I wonder if that's enough. I don't think it's going to be though. I don't think it's good enough, honestly. Oh, I've made a meal out of it. I've really messed up. Okay, here's mistake one. Right, we have 331 resistor. It's not on LED2, LED-A2, sorry. It's on bloody P06. What are you doing, Joey? So I now need to resolder that completely and put it on LED-A2. Like an absolute sponge. P06 has solder on there, so I need to get that off as well. Isopropyl alcohol to clean it up, and then we go again. Come on, Joe, you got this. Okay, better. Okay, I've balanced it on the balls. All I need it to do when I solder it is just go on, please. I mess this up so bad. That's as good as I'm getting. I'm not getting any better than that. Do you know what? Now we test. It's horrendous. I've messed this up so bad. I've messed it up so bad. The gold contact came off the LED-A2, so I don't think it's gonna work. That's the best I've got. I'm trying to get it at like a, so that angle, as long as it's touching the end contacts, isn't horrendous, I guess, and hopefully it can flow through. But again, I have no idea how this is gonna turn out. So now what I'm gonna do is put what I can back together and give it a test, because I just don't think that it's gonna work. But that's what we need to do. Okay, so I believe what I need to do now is just plug the screen back in and put the battery through the back, and it should be all right. How much am I sweating right now? A lot, a hell of a lot, because I had to close that window as well. I don't know if I need to plug this bit in, but I'm gonna try it anyway. Okay, I'm very, very doubtful this is actually gonna turn on, but we will see. Battery this side, I believe. Yeah. Battery this side on the contacts. Check. Just holding that there. Here we go. Oh, no way. We've actually got it working. Okay, let's turn it off before we break anything. Okay. The battery, again, it's got double-sided sticky tape, so apologies if that offends anyone. So it turns on. So does that mean that it's okay? On to the next bit, I guess. Okay, so next we have to take the red wire from the speaker and put that onto where it says SPR0, which I can only assume means speaker right, which is right next to where we've just soldered. So I'm a little bit nervous about that. But what we can then do from that is route the cable for the speaker around underneath the screen on the back, and then we're gonna put the black to ground, which is next to the headphone jack. I don't know if my head was in the way for that, but we are looking good there. Okay, now we're just gonna solder to ground next to the headphone jack. Do we do another test? I think we do another test to see how we get on, right? Moment of truth to see if the speaker works. Here we go. It works. I don't believe it. You guys probably didn't hear it. I can't believe it. It works. I'm shocked. I'm actually shocked. We've done the speaker, we've done the resistor, and now we just kind of put it back together. I'm actually speechless. Okay, let's try and route the... Oh, actually, well, the hard bit, I think, is putting the speaker on the back of the board and having that mounted. So let's try and do that real quick as well. Okay, now we're just gonna do some cable routing, guys, to just make sure this is as clean as it possibly can be before I end up sticking it down. Okay, so we have made a little bit of progress. So I have, just to recap, I have placed some electrical / insulation tape underneath the speaker because I was a little bit scared. Somebody said to me, you just got to be really, really careful because you don't want to like short it out, which is fine. So I decided to put a little bit of tape underneath. I don't know if you can see it, maybe like just. Then I also put a little bit of electrical tape here because I also didn't know if they were talking about a short potentially from here. So I've just kind of covered all bases. Then we got some double-sided sticky tape on the back of that so the speaker is not going anywhere. In terms of the routing for the wire, if I turn it round, you can see that this is where it's gone. It's just going to tuck behind the screen, hopefully, and work. So let's put it back together and let's see how we get on. We have finished putting it back together. The seams, apologies guys, by the way, it's getting a little bit dark in my room now. So I've been doing this for a couple of hours. Let me see if I can sort something out here. I think that might be a little bit better for you. I'm really happy with how this has turned out. I haven't tried to turn it on yet, so I can't be over the moon happy, but this is what we're looking like now. I'm gonna give it a good clean. You see the RB and the LB? Clickable. I haven't put on the final touch yet, but you see we have the A and the B, the white A and the B, and we have the D-pad here, the white start and select as well. The speaker's in. It's going to be coming out through here. If I'm successful with this project, I'll look to go back and polyfill it or body fill it, whatever you want to call it, properly. But again, just to give you a tour of the edges real quick, just to make sure that we haven't cut any corners. You can see it's all pretty flush all around. So nothing sticking out here, which is really good, I thought. Really, really good. And the same for the side. And again, if the camera focuses, there we go, on the bottom. So, the moment of truth. Did I short anything when I was putting it back together or anything ridiculous like that? Let's find out. I'll take my finger off the speaker bit as well so we can hear. I'm going to put it up to the camera, okay? Here we go. Okay, I've done it. I don't know if you guys heard it. I don't know if you heard the speaker. I'm hoping you did. It was on max volume. So yeah, I did have to take it apart because the slider was only going up to halfway here. So I took the DS apart again after I put it back together to see why it was only going halfway. And I managed to put it back in, it was fine. So as soon when I took it apart, put it back together, it was no issues at all, it fully slides. I think it might have just got stuck here. So yeah, so I had to do that. But here we go. Wow, look at this, man. Time to test out a game. And what better game than Cats? If anyone can actually suggest some good Game Boy Advance games in the comment section down below, I'm more than happy buy them. Again, another moment of truth, I guess. It will poke out the bottom, as you can see, so it's not the most ideal. However, does it boot straight into the Game Boy game? Yes, it does. There was no volume there because the volume was turned off, so we'll do it again. Hopefully you got the second ding. Directional buttons work, which is fantastic. A and B works. So all seems to be good. What do you guys think of the colour that I've done on the DS? Maybe the R and the L should have been black, but I really like it. I really like it. I'm gonna give this a real quick clean with a microfiber cloth and just finish up everything and make sure I get it all nice and shiny. I will be careful to not spray some stuff in this hole, but I'll be back with you guys in a sec. And here she is. I mean, it is gorgeous. I really like it. I really like it. I've just given it a bit of a dust and a bit of a clean, and safe to say it does look fantastic. This is meant to go at the top, but I've been struggling with trying to get it in. So you can see in that little crevice where I've tried to get this in, essentially. Which is really annoying me. It doesn't matter, it still looks really sexy. I'm gonna be revisiting this a lot. I just want to get rid of these bits essentially and just sandpaper them down, like take them off completely. I think that would look better. For the time being, I would like to try and get this stick in just to kind of complete the look, essentially. This is the backside view. Again, really nice. Just scratched and stuff, but again, future videos, I'd love to spray paint it. I'd love to spray paint the case completely, give it a whole new finish. But yeah, I do like the R and the B. I had to think about it, and I like the R and the B being the different colour to the rest of the console. I really like it. So let's just put the game in now. Like we discussed before, it does stick out a little bit, which is the only kind of downside to this, but there it is. I'm extremely happy with how this whole thing went, like really, honestly, quite happy. If you want to see future videos starring this little guy, then make sure you hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and also leave a comment just saying, I've subbed, or hi everyone, how's your day? Would honestly recommend this to anyone. It's been really fun, stressful, but really fun. And with all that said, guys, much love. Actually, there is one more thing. The game that he had in his PlayStation 3 was Civilization Revolution. Not even a game to be embarrassed about. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace. Also, really quick shout out to Blue Book because he's helped me a lot. He sent me some videos, and yeah, he managed to get the video to 26 likes. See you later, guys.